Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're back doing some Dark and Darker here today. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. But regardless, let's hop right in. So, given the current state of the game, I was talking to one of my buddies last night about what do you do when you're broke, or how do I get gear, to run in a three-man squad when I can't really compete with the gear levels that are available. And obviously, Iron Mace has announced a wipe for this coming Thursday. And so last night was Saturday night before the wipe, and everybody brings out all their best gear, and it was particularly rough for anyone on the lower gear end of the spectrum. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about what you do when you're broke, and that the answer to that is ratting. Okay, and the term ratting means that you're going to run around like a dirty rat, collecting all the cheese and avoiding the cats. In this case, the cats are well-geared players who are interested in fighting, and you as a rat are really not interested in fighting. It is your absolute last resort. Your objective is to create an area of operation, work around it, and as a solo player, particularly in Crypts, which I recommend for rogues. As a rogue, I wouldn't even go into Goblin Caves. Crypts is just better money, better extraction options, better places to hide. But as a solo player in the rat mode, play around shrines. They're a huge advantage. You're going to see here, I immediately clear up towards this health shrine. I haven't taken any damage yet, but I'd like to keep that in my back pocket if I need it. Get a pretty good map for this. I get a central spawn. I prefer to rat near the center of the map. Most players, as a function of map generation, spawn on the outside and tend to work in. So this allows me to get a lot of ratting done, a lot of looting done, ahead of the circle collapse and ahead of players being in my AO. But what I've got here is a really terrific module just north of where I spawned. These two skeletal mage rooms are always connected, and they always have big chests. Sometimes golden, sometimes lion's head. I am running lockpick on my rat rogue here. Just a comment real quickly on the rogue. It is not my least favorite class, but it is far from my favorite class in Dark and Darker. My least favorite is probably Barbarian because there's really not much to it besides holding down W and left clicking. It's a pure stat check. The rogue has a lot of nuance to it. It can be good. I just don't generally enjoy this play style. But that's a personal preference thing. I think the rogue is not in the best state it's ever been right now, but if you put enough gear on it, it still scales pretty well. And you can do some tremendous things. If you want to learn more about, how to play a geared rogue, I check out Brad Quackerson's YouTube channel. He is a terror in a lot of these normal lobbies. Just went up against him the other day. But just to talk real quick about it, yeah. So my buddy was asking me how do I get money and how do I get gear in an environment where I can't play ungeared, and we're really at that point right now. With the direction that Iron Mace is taking the game, you're going to get gear checked by the vast majority of the people you run up against. So I have brought in a rogue. I've been doing a little bit of ratting. I'm wearing inconsequential greens, none of them good, like all magic caster stuff in terms of stats. But I do have a rapier, and I'd recommend the first time you extract on your rogue, just go ahead and buy as many gray rapiers as you can. The daggers take a lot of getting used to, and the rapier is by far the easiest weapon the rogue has access to for PvE clears, the short sword being a close second. But yeah, this is a great spawn, and I am intent on, getting as much loot as I possibly can, avoiding players as much as possible, and extracting as quickly as possible. I've got 2 shrines I can play around with here. One protection, which you saw me grab a second ago, and then the health shrine, kind of behind us to the south, which I haven't needed yet. But my intention here is to kind of show you guys what you can do when you're broke and when you don't have any gear to wager in this highly geared environment that we're going to have for at least the next 6 days until the wipe, we're going to see just a lot of people showing up in normals to roll Timmies, and it's a sad state of affairs, and I don't know what's on the horizon for the game for anyone who wants to play with less than, optimal gear. I think you're in for a bad time. But regardless, yeah, so what I want to do here is I want to finish cleaning up this room. I came into this room, you saw me kill a mob and then loot a chest, and then I looked to the north, saw that the northern of the two skeletal mage rooms was going to get closed in by the circle. So I went to that first, go ahead and get that loot out, and now I'm coming back to clear this. I've still got the security blanket in the form of a heal shrine behind me, using the traps to my advantage. What I want to do is get this room cleared as quickly as possible. When you're ratting on any class, you want to keep your ears open. You want to hear where other players are relative to your position, and you want to have a plan to get away from them if and when it's called for. But right now, I haven't really heard anybody, and I'm happy to keep looted up. My current so I just heard somebody kill a mummy there. My current extraction plan here is to run north back into the fog of war, into the storm, through that kind of spider hole. But I heard somebody, so I'm going to sit here. I know that the circle is collapsing, and I'm going to listen, keeping my ears open. I want to know where people are, what they're doing around me. And when this circle collapses, like close to the 5-minute mark, then some portals are going to spawn, and I want to be able to hear where they spawned in. To do this, you really need to be wearing a headset. The directional sound, the sound design in Dark and Darker is really good, and you can literally kind of turn your character's head and triangulate the position. So I heard one just spawn. I know it is southeast of me some distance. But I still hear players moving around. I'm going to sit still. Now, why am I playing Rogue if I don't enjoy Rogue? Well, simply put, the Rogue is the highest gold per hour. It is the best character class at this rat playstyle because Rogues have the unique ability to only take fights that they want to take, and they're really fast when they have to evade other players. I intentionally spawned up those axe skeletons up there in front of the church. This is going to kind of cover my rear. They're going to be dragged into the door I closed behind me. It's going to make it really difficult for somebody to get through that door without making a lot of noise at a minimum. I have to check that bronze chest. Those little bronze chests can contain really good stuff now. And there's a portal that's open just in front of me. So yeah, the Rogue is pretty much the best at this playstyle by virtue of, look at me getting into these traps like I do. So there's an enemy Rogue here, and he wants to contest me. I'm going to throw him a fire bottle back there. I took way too much damage from those traps. I hope this guy is low HP. It is. And the poison gets him, so he goes down. I was really lucky that he was not full health. I think there's a possibility that there's another rogue buddy of his lingering here, but no. Let's check him real fast. He's got a necklace and a ring. I'm going to come back and grab that in a second, as well as that explosive bottle. But first things first, let's secure our exit. You want to exit as quickly as possible. The rogue can do pretty well down in Hell, Inferno level 2. But, you know, I'm happy to get out with a full inventory of sellable loot, particularly high quality. That's why I'm here. That's what this rogue kind of play style excels at. And so I thought I'd share this game with you guys to kind of illustrate, you know, what to do when you're broke. You can come in with a gray rogue and do what I just did, albeit it's a little harder with the starter daggers than it is with a rapier. The first money you get out, you should invest in 3 of the basic healing pots, 3 of the basic bandages, and as many rapiers as you can afford, and just go back in. Now, this rat strategy, you can accumulate some gear. You saw me pick up a couple of good pieces on that run. And the key to making sure that you maintain that wealth and that you can actually assemble a set is take them off when you get out of the match. go ahead and bank them until you've assembled like a full set of gear that you're willing to go in and play, you know, a strong positional game with. And yeah, that's pretty much the only way to accumulate gear without gear at this point in the game's evolution, is to successfully extract bank items until you have until you have assembled a well-appointed set of gear based on the stats that your class is looking for, and then, you know, take that set in when you're willing to fight for it, kill other players, and take their gear. That's the meta that we're living in right now. If you're playing any other way, you're playing the game in the hardest way possible. And there's an old adage in blackjack that if you always wager the same amount, the house will always win. And that's kind of the same thing here in Dark and Darker. Like, if you're always letting your gear let it ride, then when you lose, when you die, when you take a bad fight, you're going to drop everything, right? You're going to lose all of your accumulated wealth. And so, you know, varying up the levels of gear that you're taking in is just a good gambler's proposition. Now, from a cash clearing perspective, we made bank here over 200 gold. I think it was 230 and change, with a couple of pieces that are going to sell at the auction house when I hit level 15. Right now, this character is like level 12 or 13. Running 2 perks, 3 perks. I am running Picklocks, which is great for ratting. I am running Poisoned Weapon and Stealth, which allows me to... whichever the name of the ability is, that allows you to move 10 paces while stealthed. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe. Good luck to you in your raids to come.